And speaking of the world and speaking of the people that are in it, I'm surprised of how big of a character the city is itself. Can you just talk about like what you guys did to make Chicago feel so alive?
Yeah, making Chicago a character in the game was key. Part of that was just basic research. We sent people to Chicago. I went, my writing team went, the art teams, level designers, a lot of people went, the creative director, of course. So we all spent a lot of time in Chicago. I mean, I spent weeks there. We ended up recording all our voices that you hear in the streets. They're all recorded in Chicago. So we spent a lot of time researching it, taking photos, and we wanted to make sure that our Chicago is faithful to the real Chicago. It's not street for street. You know, you can't go and find your home in Chicago, for example. But if you're from Chicago, you'll feel the vibe. You'll recognize some landmarks, and you'll get a sense of when you've moved into a neighborhood. You'll be like, yeah, this feels like the neighborhoods I know. But beyond that, it's an important character mostly because our Chicago is a smart city. It's run by CTOS. And CTOS is this network, central operating system, that connects everything: the power grids, the water, your private information, your medical records. Everything is connected to a centralized system. And Pierce, you as Pierce the player, are given exploits that allow you into that system. And so because of that, Chicago becomes a significant character because you make a lot of choices based on what you learn from CTOS. You start realizing CTOS and Chicago and the politics behind Chicago are rather tightly intertwined. So I think players are going to get as much intrigue out of the city itself as they are out of the many characters they have in the game.
Now, is this game a cautionary tale of the emergence of technology being throughout our life and the threat of cyber terrorism and cybersecurity?
I think for sure the game, it's meant to reflect our world. You know, we want players to play the game, you know, finish it, pick up their phone, head outside and start realizing, wow, okay, all the information I have here is like all the information the NPCs have. You know, what we've done is we've made you Aiden Pierce. Aiden Pierce is a hacker. You know, his goals are good. They're noble. He's not a black hat hacker by any means. He's a guy who's trying to do the right thing. But he's got a lot of power at his fingertips. He can hack people at will, and he can peer into people's lives, get information about them, look at their secrets, listen to their private conversations, watch them in their homes. That's a lot of access. And by putting you in those shoes, I'm hoping that players are going to, you know, put the game down and then realize, wow, okay, everything that I saw in the game is something that someone could see for real, in real life. You know, that information is out there. Our idea of privacy and what we're allowed to keep as secrets has changed. You know, I wouldn't have, 10 years ago, I hesitated to throw my credit card number online. It's always like, I don't know if I want to do that. Now I do it quite freely. And I'm aware, you know, I'm very aware of how secure things are, and that nothing can really ever be entirely as secure as we'd like. But that's the world we live in. So I think it's important that, you know, Watch Dogs is an interactive way, I think, for people to think about it. And now they've got, hopefully it'll just get a dialogue going with our players. And not just with our players, but with our players and their friends who are having conversations about privacy, because it goes beyond gamers, right? All of us are talking about privacy.